Guys, deluded, man. Now, Danny Rose. Now, I'm pretty sure you all know, you've all seen it. He's spoken about a lot of things. Now, we'll speak about the racism thing in another vid, and I'm not happy about that. I'm happy about what he said, but of course, I'm not gonna be happy speaking about racism. But I'm sure you've seen what he's spoken about depression and them things there. How he's had a bout with depression, and yeah, man, it was a touching article to read. And I know Spurs are pagans, and I ain't got really much time for Spurs in that aspect. Banter aside, but it couldn't happen. Like he's a nice person. Like he's a very nice person. Like I've taken a picture with Danny Rose as well when I used to work at Spurs. Like I told you guys it was right before kickoff. I'm pretty sure he was in the section he was not supposed to be, and he still took time and took a picture. Like you don't want to see people going through this, and Danny Rose like it's tough, man. And you never know what people are going through. Yeah, we all know he had the interview in the Sun. He's actually spoken lightly before about depression, but he weren't really speaking about it. But back to the topic. I know we had the interview in the Sun, and that's rubbed some fans up the wrong way. But we still need to remember, man are human, and most logical fans will be able to see this. Like fans of all clubs, like he's a human being, and you really don't know what people are going through behind the scenes. Like um I know he played he come on against Real Madrid many months back and things like that, and then he had to really be patient and not really involved. And he actually spoke about how obviously it obviously burnt to say in his to read, but it's burnt to say. But he spoke about Man United and the Arsenal victories and how he wasn't a part of that and how that made him feel. What really got me is that I know you're injured, and when a player's injured, and it's tough to want to just remain motivated and stuff. But it's like that's the time when you gotta be most at it. You gotta when there's no light at the tunnel, you're in a tunnel and it's darkness. You gotta find some light. Like, and he was saying like he was losing the desire per se to continue his rehab, to get in, to do all these things, like to be social and be with his friends and stuff. He was snappy and things. We all know we all like to be isolated at times. As human, it's healthy to have some space, but don't let that space become a prison. And it sounded like in the thing that's what it was becoming like. And it's sad, and it's not even just his own personal things. Credit to Spurs, credit to Spurs guy. He had the psychiatrist and them things there. He got to a point, he's off it now, but he had a spell having to take some pills in relation to aid his depression and things like that. He had to deal with other external factors, like sadly the suicide of his uncle, and condolences in that aspect. And he actually, it's hard for him to come out, and I'm big respect for coming out and just saying this, because he didn't even tell his mum and dad. Like yeah, his mum was a victim of racism back in Doncaster, where they're from. I think couple other thing. We don't need to be talking about a man's business here and there and airing. I don't even call them skeletons, because in real life everyone goes through that. But if we were him, we don't want everybody chatting about our business like that. So we don't need to go on that aspect. But you can get the point, paint the picture. He's going through. Oh, that's the last one. I think someone shot a gun in his house or his family house or something at him, at a family member, or tried. I don't know if it was a robbery or whatever. I don't want to speculate, but all of these things a man's having to deal with and trying to deal with his own problems. Like, and it's credit to him that he's remained to stay strong, and not even just him. If he's had all his support network that I'll never get to know and stuff, cause they're in his personal circle, like credit to them, man. And he said, like, what got me as well is that he said he was taking a lot of injections and tablets trying to get fit as well. It's like you can see the burning desire to want to play, and many men must go through this. And some footballers, it's a lonely place, and you got a lot of time on your hands as a footballer as well. You need to imagine, you do your double sessions, you might have a little sponsorship event or something, but after that you got a lot of time, and you have access to a lot of social clubs and a lot of these things that many normal people wouldn't. Like it opens up the tunnel for some players. Sadly, it must be down of substance abuse, whether that's drugs or alcohol. Like, you don't know what a player's going through. Some of these players might celebrate and be happy as hell and things like that, and they might be behind closed doors. Like, it's a different story. Like he said, credit to him for getting his salvation to like he called it, getting in the English squad and going to the World Cup. He's a real guy, because he paid commiserations to guys like Bertrand, who he said if he was him, he'd be fuming that he isn't going. Like, whatever you got to say about Rose, he's a real guy. Like, even with the Sun interview, it was a bit of a dud thing, but previously, but like, shout out to him, man. Like, just shout out to Danny Rose, man. Like, it's a tough thing to do. Come out and have to do, man. Like, it's a tough thing. Like, I can't state it enough. Like, it's an understatement what I'm saying. Like, especially as males, especially like not to play the race card, but especially as a black male as well, where the stigma is even more about talking about these sort of things, where there's the potential to be demonized and them things and called crazy and all these mad things. Like, it's good because now some people will see it's all right to, it's not all right to feel like this, of course, but it's all right to share these things and try and get help, and you're not weak and all of these things if you don't, man. Like, shout out to Danny Rose, man. We ain't got to talk about it no more, people, man. Danny Rose, hopefully, if you're battling through any... And it's credit to see you're back and you're feeling good again as well. But if you're going through any of these sort of things anymore, hopefully you completely eradicate this. Shout, if anybody's going through this as well, shout people for some help or something, people, man, please. But on that note, on a brighter note, please check out some other vids, card. This is really depressing, man. But yeah, guys, Deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.